Hey guys, let's get more news from Dallas Cowboys, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. With the Dallas Cowboys training camp practices so far focusing on a lot of unpadded, 7-on-7 drills, the team's passing game skill positions both sides of the ball have had a chance to stand out the most. The time will come to see more from many of the new starters Dallas is breaking in over the coming weeks in Oxnard, especially along the offensive line with rookie first and third-round draft picks Tyler Guyton and Cooper Beebe, as well as at running back with the return of Ezekiel Elliott joining Rico Dowdle and others in a committee approach. With questions at both key positions left unanswered, what we have seen so far is players the Cowboys will surely be relying on to win games in 2024 make the highlight plays. Jalen Tolbert stole the show on day one, making the most of every rep he can get with the team's best receiver Ceedee Lamb not present. With the likes of Tolbert, Brandon Cooks, Jalen Brooks, rookie Ryan Flournoy, and even Tyron Billy Johnson looking to give the Cowboys secondary a formidable test in these practices, it was last year's NFL record breaker that helped the defense respond on day two with Darren Bland doing what he does best and making plays on the ball. Bland is entering year 3 having followed up a strong rookie performance by intercepting a league-high 9 passes and returning 5 for touchdowns, something that had never been done before. The hype continues to grow for Bland to somehow be even better this season, not only teaming up with Trayvon Diggs, who returns from an ACL tear, but a new defensive coordinator in Mike Zimmer. Diggs has yet to practice with the team in Oxnard yet, starting training camp on PUP but getting closer to being able to rejoin a defense that was without him since week 3 a year ago. With Zimmer's defenses historically having strong secondaries that force tight throws from opposing offenses, and this already being a strength for Dallas under previous DC Dan Quinn and secondary coach Al Harris, it's no surprise this group is having a strong start to training camp and could be one of the strengths of the entire team all season. The Cowboys not only were able to retain Harris on their coaching staff for the season, but now have the 14-year NFL veteran as assistant head coach to help this team even more. Harris has been on the Cowboys staff since 2020 as an assistant, working his way up with strong player relations and the attention to detail to prepare a secondary for the given receivers they'll face on a weekly basis. With the Cowboys only having their own crop of receivers to throw against this secondary for the coming weeks, outside of preseason games, the opportunities should continue for these defensive backs to stand out. To do so, there are still plenty of questions to answer for how the secondary will line up outside of 3 strong projected starters, and even more about what the front 7 in front of them will look like. The Cowboys lost pass rushers Dorrance Armstrong and Dante Fowler in the division to the Commanders, but still have Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, and second-round pick Marshawn Kneeland to get after quarterbacks and help this ball-hawking secondary take the ball away. Unfortunately, it looks like they may not have Sam Williams. Parsons' work in the early parts of camp has included more than just pass rushing though, lining up some at off-ball linebacker. This is another spot the Cowboys are trying to sort out their projected starters at, with DeMarvion Overshown coming back for what could be his first full season after tearing his ACL in the preseason as a rookie. Just how much pressure is on Overshown to be a quality starter right away will depend on what the Cowboys get from Damone Clark as well as third-round pick Marist Liufau from Notre Dame. While fans will be looking to know who can start at these positions in Week 1 by the time camp ends, the Cowboys, like all teams, will need time early in the season to develop players and consider lineup changes while relying on their established stars to still win games. This is exactly what a possible starting cornerback trio of Trayvon Diggs, Darren Bland, and Jordan Lewis may give the Cowboys under the guidance of Zimmer and Harris. With cornerback being one of the top positions where depth is needed throughout the season, there are still a ton of important training camp reps to be had for CBs further down the roster like Josh Butler, 5th-round pick Kalen Carson, Nahshon Wright, and second-year player Eric Scott Jr. If any of these players can follow up the strong start established by Bland, and the Cowboys' own passing offense comes into its own with Dak Prescott building chemistry with receivers besides Lamb, the competition on both sides of the ball will be just heating up in Oxnard. For a team that has desperately tried to improve in the trenches under Mike McCarthy in hopes of being a team capable of making a deep playoff run, the Cowboys have tried again this offseason while not compromising the team's strengths that have led them to 12 wins in 3 consecutive seasons. It hasn't taken long for flash plays from Tolbert or Bland to remind everyone of the talent this team still has to at least repeat as division champions, despite a free agency period and offseason filled with doubt. Rather than waiting until players are in full pads to get the most out of these practices so far, where players like Guyton, Tyler Smith, and Motzie Smith will have a better chance to shine, the Cowboys have picked up where the best of their 2023 season left them by making some big plays through the air on both sides of the ball. A veteran cornerback for the Dallas Cowboys made it through the first week of training camp before deciding to retire from the league at 28. The Cowboys will have more depth issues in the secondary this season after they had to release the former first-round pick. The Dallas Cowboys have depth problems in the secondary. Per a statement by the Cowboys earlier this week, the team placed star cornerback Trayvon Diggs on the PUP list at the start of training camp as he recovers from an injury he sustained last season. The Dallas Cowboys officially placed cornerback Trayvon Diggs on the active/physically unable to perform list on Thursday as he continues to recover from the torn ACL that he suffered in practice last September. Diggs' placement on the list allows him to return at any point in training camp/preseason, but he would have to miss at least 4 games if he were to start the regular season on the list. The Cowboys chose not to bring back Stephon Gilmore. With Diggs out for much of last season, veteran Stephon Gilmore stepped up and had a big season in the Cowboys secondary. Gilmore said he wanted to re-sign with the Cowboys for the 2024 season, but the front office has chosen not to make that happen. The Cowboys appeared to move on from Gilmore this offseason when they signed former first-round pick Gareon Conley. Per Ari Meirov with the 33rd team, the Cowboys released Conley on Sunday. The move appeared to be a surprise cut because the Cowboys had a need for Conley. ESPN's Todd Archer provided more clarity on the cut. Per Archer, Conley informed the Cowboys he intends to retire from the league. The Oakland Raiders drafted the 28-year-old with the number 24 pick in the 2017 NFL Draft. He spent time with the Houston Texans in the 2019-2020 seasons. He suffered an injury during training camp in 2020 and spent the season on injured reserve. He would not rejoin the NFL until the Cowboys signed him in 2024. He played in the UFL during the 2024 season. Conley has appeared in 31 NFL games and started in 26 games. He's recorded 94 total tackles and 4 interceptions. May not be in training camp with the Dallas Cowboys, but the star pass catcher is still putting in work. Lamb has been working out in Houston amid his holdout, per Jane Slater of NFL Network. Slater also reported a message from Lamb about what he's looking for on his next contract. Ceedee Lamb on his contract, it just has to make sense, according to a source informed. I'm told he's 195 to 196 pounds bigger, faster, and more explosive than previous years. I'm told he had a 2-hour workout and continues to fine-tune the details of his game, Slater said. Lamb finished last season with a league-high 135 receptions for 1,749 yards and 12 touchdowns. He wants to be compensated like a top receiver in the league after watching contracts at his position skyrocket around the NFL this offseason. Minnesota Vikings star Justin Jefferson, Miami Dolphins pass catcher Jalen Waddle, and Detroit Lions standout Amon-Ra St. Brown recently signed big money deals, ushering in a new era of lucrative receiver contracts. Lamb was a first-round pick in 2020 and is heading into the final year of his rookie contract. He's due to make $17.9 million on his 5th-year option. Cowboys have had negotiations with Ceedee Lamb. The contract talks with Lamb have not been a total non-starter. The sides have talked, but clearly haven't got close to what he thinks he deserves. Cowboys Vice President Stephen Jones said on Thursday, July 25, that both Lamb and defensive superstar Micah Parsons are eyeing record-setting deals. Both of them, rightfully so, believe they should be the highest-paid non-quarterback in the league, Jones said. Totally respect that. So very difficult situations that we're trying to work through with them. If Lamb is eyeing that number, it would have to surpass Jefferson, who is earning $35 million a year. Spotrac's market value for Lamb is a 4-year deal worth $136 million. That put him around $34 million per season, on par with the top receivers in the league, but not the top. Sitting out of training camp is hitting Lamb in the wallet. He can be fined up to $40,000 per day for skipping camp. Cowboys confident Dak Prescott will stick around. The Cowboys have a variety of big contracts to figure out. Lamb, Parsons, and quarterback Dak Prescott are all priorities for the team. Prescott will be 31 next season and is coming off a Pro Bowl year. Last season, he passed for 4,516 yards, 36 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. The Cowboys feel Prescott can lead them to a Super Bowl but have yet to commit to him beyond this season. Despite that, Cowboys owner Jerry Jones made it clear to the media on Thursday that he believes Prescott will be with the Cowboys beyond this season. Do I think this will be, Dak's, his last year with Cowboys? No, Jones said. Am I being psychotic relative to my mirror? No. Prescott's tenure in Dallas has featured a lot of winning, with the Cowboys reeling off 3 consecutive 12-win seasons. However, playoff success has been hard to come by for Prescott and the Cowboys. Still, he may be in line for a contract that resets the quarterback market, per Diana Russini of The Athletic. The Dallas Cowboys are working hard to get Dak Prescott's deal done. Prescott could be the first quarterback to break the $60 million per year barrier, Russini said on July 24. The Cowboys open the regular season on September 8 against the Cleveland Browns.